Hi, I'm Roland, and this is my 97 Geo Tracker. And believe it or not, I got it for free. Now as you can see, it's in pretty rough shape. Some people would have taken it to the scrapyard or even sold it for parts. But I think we can do a lot better than that. I got this Geo Tracker from my brother for free, and honestly, after you see it, you'll kind of understand why. I mean, I can't even open the door, but I can't complain, it still runs. This thing spent years sitting outside in the Arizona desert with no top on it. The sun absolutely baked it, especially on the inside. My brother planned to restore it and he even bought a pile of parts for it, which he gave me. Some of it I'm not even sure was for his car. He was just trying to get it out of his house. But if you're anything like me, sometimes you have more projects than time. So it sat and sat until the neighbors finally got tired of looking at it, which is how I ended up with it. This thing takes me right back to my high school days. And back in the 90s, this is how Chevy advertised these things.
Geo Tracker. Sometimes it's a convertible, sometimes it's a rugged 4x4, but it's always an adventure. Get to know Geo Tracker only at your Chevrolet Geo dealers.
As you can see, we've got some work to do. Now my wife doesn't want me spending a whole lot of time or money on this thing, and I don't blame her. She says I have way too many projects. I don't know where she gets that from. So because of that, I'd like to keep her happy, because I would like to stay married. Now I'm not trying to build some crazy rock crawler, and I'm definitely not trying to build a show car. I just want to take this forgotten little tracker and build it into something I could enjoy driving every day. I want to be able to take my family to the beach in it, maybe some mild off-road trails, and just have fun driving it. We're going to start on the inside, and there's a lot of work to do. So we better get started. All right, we're going to start on this totally sun-baked, horrible-looking dash, and using a rad little trick, I'm going to show you guys how to take it from looking like this to looking amazing like this. Looks horrible, right? And Armor All does nothing or the equivalent. This is like a better version of the Armor All, but watch. Rub it, and then look it right back to the nasty oxidation. And then I got wondering, I wonder if the blowtorch trick on the bumpers works on your dash. Boom, sure enough, yes it does. Looks almost new again. I just hit it with that real quick and then wiped it down with the Armor All, and it looks almost completely new. It's crazy. So yeah, you just gotta be careful. You don't overheat it, don't melt stuff, don't get it near the vents because I accidentally did that. But I can just scuff it and throw some paint on it. It's fine, or find a new one. But yeah, I think I'm going to definitely do it to the dash. Probably would not do it to the steering wheel. That doesn't seem like a smart idea. Probably I'll leave the bezel alone. But I'm definitely going to do it to the center console. This thing is oxidized like a mofo. It looks absolutely like trash. Well, here it is, all done with the torch and being buffed out with some plastic restore. I was using a combination of the Mothers and the McGuire's. I had filmed the process, but the footage got screwed up somehow. You'll see it in more detail in a few minutes when I do the rest of the interior here, but man, did that come out good. Look at this thing. So I tested the blowtorch thing here on the center console in a very inconspicuous place where you wouldn't notice if it didn't work. This whole side right here. It works really good. So I am going to pull this whole center console because it is super oxidized and messed up. Do the old blowtorch thing, but you do have to take out the seats to get to some of the screws to pull this thing out. Hey, let me just pause this real quick. Future me here. Just wanted to tell you guys you actually don't have to remove the seats. I had to because these seats are so crappy that they wouldn't even slide anymore because the mechanism was messed up. So back to your normal schedule programming. Alright, I won't get too crazy into how to remove these seats. It's pretty simple, but look how disgusting the side of this seat looks. It is horrible. Pretty easy. There's a couple of screws holding on these plastic pieces. Here I am showing you some of them. There's 3 for the top, 2 for the bottom, and then 5 easy bolts to pull the seat out. Alright, getting these seats out was a complete pain in my balloon knot. There's 5 bolts. The seat was completely stuck. I had to totally soak it in PB Blaster because these bolts I'm showing you right now are covered when it doesn't roll. You have to roll it forward, and that was a nightmare. I missed one of the 3 bolts in the back. Here it is right here. Make sure you don't miss that like me. And then here are the 2 in the front you're supposed to pull off, and all these bolts are a 12mm. Well, there it is. And this thing is filthy. Good thing I'm pulling out the seat. That is gross. And then we can get the center console out. I'm probably going to pull off the rear seat and just pressure wash this whole thing out because it's absolutely disgusting. Well, the audio is really bad in this part, so I'm just going to retell you what I was talking about in this video clip. Telling you I'm taking out the back seats, I'm taking out the other seat in the center console, and I'm gonna get this all cleaned up and pressure wash it. And my brother had given me a bunch of cans of bed liner with the parts that he had given me for this. And once this is cleaned up, I'm going to use that to coat the floor to make it look better and help with sound attenuation. Hey, Future Me here again with a pro tip. You do not have to remove that main shifter, only the 4-wheel drive one to get that off. Well, there it is, all taken apart, and she is a dirty girl. So let's get her cleaned up. Dun, 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 dun. Time to pressure wash. Okay, so I folded down the top just in the effort of it drying quicker after pressure washing it. I'm going to prep it for doing the Rhino liner on it, or the truck bed liner, I guess, because it's not that brand. I think it's like Rust-Oleum or something like that. Anyways, I took off the plate back there. So I think I'm just going to wipe it down with some acetone real quick and then throw like a quick coat of some satin black I have sitting on my shelf in there just to make it look a little nicer because it does look a little rusty. So I pulled that off. Probably unbolt these seat belts. The AC vent thing for under the seats is just this one screw and then it slips off of there. I'm going to pull that off on both sides and then probably just kind of move that wire out of the way as I need when I'm painting. And then I'll probably unbolt that. That's the latch for the seat. So other than that, it's just like taping off some stuff. I don't think I'm going to pull all this off. I'll just tape off the edges of it so that way it doesn't get covered in Rhino liner. Probably redo these panels at some point anyways when I redo the doors so they match, and then I'll probably just cover this in like sound deadening mat, pull that off, and then put carpet to match whatever carpet I decided to put in here. Well, there it is, all cleaned up and prepped for paint. I took a sponge and a rag and wiped down any of the leftover dirt that didn't get out with the pressure washing, taped off everything, removed all the stuff I didn't want painted like we had talked about. It turns out these covers here on the wheel wells, just there's nothing holding them in. You can just pull them right out if you take out the screw that's inside that little thing right there. So that's what I did, so I don't have to tape it off. It made it a lot easier. And then I could just spray along the bottom there without having to worry about it. Okay, it's the next day. The bed liner is dry. I was untaping, and I don't know why I taped it that way. The more I look at it, the more I absolutely hate that, and that's going to drive me nuts because the center console comes down to like right here. So you're going to have this gap that where you can just see where it wasn't painted, and I don't know why I did that. And I'm going to absolutely hate it. So I'm going to go ahead and remask by just covering up this and the shifter and all that, and then I'm going to paint it up here underneath the center console so it's all the same color, because that's going to drive me nuts. All right, wipe stuff down again and change the way it was taped right there, and then it's run low on masking tape, so I use the old painter's trick of just wrapping everything that you don't want painted in aluminum foil. Yeah, I had that on hand, and we're trying to do this cheaply without buying anything, so there we go. So satisfying. I love pulling off tape lines. It's definitely way better. I think once I get the center console on, that's going to look way better. All right, guys, there is the floor pan completely finished being painted with the bed liner. As you can see, I did a double coat on the wheel well areas where there's going to be traffic. The rest of it was a single coat. I think it came out pretty good. It makes a huge difference in the appearance and hopefully helps with the sound as well. Okay, so back here, up next, we're going to throw some soundproofing on those wheel wells now that it's all painted and looking good. Let's pull off those plastics back there that you see so we can get those cleaned up and ready to go. And then I have a few surprises here. I found a guy on Facebook Marketplace right down the road from me that was selling some leftover parts from his tracker that he wasn't using. So I was able to get new wheel well covers. They're in way better shape. Well, when I say new to me, but way better shape than the ones I had, as well as one of the end pieces for the center console. And then he threw in a piece of carpet for me too for the rear. So let's get started. All right, I've already removed this side. I'm just pulling off these plastic pieces so we can get them cleaned up and restored, and we can make room to get in underneath on the wheel well and get that all cleaned out so we can add the sound insulation. Okay, so over on this side, this is what I did. There's a Phillips head screw here I'd already loosened to pull out the wheel well cover there. And then there's some Phillips head screws along the soft top rail right here. And then there's two Phillips heads here that need to come out. They're holding on that lower plastic piece. And then one right here, which is already missing, but Once you get those pulled off, you can just pull these plastic pieces pretty easily right out, and then we're good to go. All right, well, I got these all scrubbed down with that scuff pad and washed off. You can see how oxidized and bad they look. I'm going to try doing the blowtorch trick on these bad boys, see if they'll bring them back, and then maybe hit them with some plastic restore like I was doing on the bumpers, which you may or may not be familiar with based on how I edit this video. Same thing I did with the dash. You saw when I was doing that. Just dry it off so you can see how bad it is. It's super oxidized. So, there we go. Oh, look at that. Like new. Maybe I should wipe this down first. I feel like doing this with the water on it is probably a bad idea. There we go. Wipe the water off of it. Yeah, definitely a bad idea doing it with the water on it. It's leaving a mark. There we go. Look at that. It is new. Oh. This trick is the best thing I ever learned working on the cars. This thing is a miracle worker. I used to do this on my bumpers on my old Jeep all the time. But luckily found out it works on oxidized interior parts. It looks amazing. Ooh, that's hot. Dang. Look at that. Compare the two. Wow. Let's put some of that plastic restore on it, see what happens. This literally looks like it just came off the factory floor. This is insane. It's like brand new again. Look at that. So I'm gonna keep doing that to all these. Probably speed run you on the video through it, but there you go. Well, it's not perfect. I accidentally got it too hot in a couple of spots, but damn, that doesn't look 10 times better than it did before. Just compare the colors here. This is the back part of it. It goes together like that. You can see the difference in the two. But I'm not reusing this one, so I'm not worrying about it. All right, there it is. They're all cleaned up. I got these new wheel well covers from a dude down the street that I found this morning. Selling them for $10. Dude, couldn't pass it up because the old ones were trashed. And then look at all the plastic pieces fully restored. They look like brand new, straight off the factory floor. Look at that, wow. And then here's the old piece, the old rear center console piece that I didn't do anything to, so you could see the difference. This guy that sold me these had this one too. Gave me it all for $30. So sure, my wife won't mind that I spent $30 on this thing. Can't complain about that. He even threw in the rear carpet piece so I can put some sound deadening back there and put the carpet over it. But yeah, let's get it back in. Would you look at that? Just look at that. There's the center console back in, guys. It looks absolutely amazing. Night and day difference between that and doing the restoration on the dash already so far, and the bed liner. It is looking really good. Can't wait to get the rest of it done because this is just an absolute awesome change. So this is a cool little trick I learned to save you guys some money. I learned it from another YouTuber, Chris Vallone, I think is his name. His YouTube channel, if I remember right, is like Classic VW Bugs. I learned this trying to learn more for sound insulating my 64 Bug and my 69 Squareback when I was doing that to them. This is an aluminum back butyl rubber, quick roof aluminum. It's used for like roof patch, but it's literally the same thing as most acoustic matting. It's, if you look it up, most acoustic matting is that butyl rubber with a metal like an aluminum or tin backing, and this is actually almost the same thickness as a lot of them that they sell, and you're going to get this for maybe like a third of the price of the acoustic matting, so save yourself some money. This was sitting up in my attic for a while, so like 6 years I think. I had 2 rolls of them, so we'll see. So it's pretty simple to do this. You just cut in strips that you, however long you need it, and just apply it. You can use a roller to apply it, or you can just smooth it on by hand. I think I have a roller somewhere. I don't know. I'll see if I can find it. If not, I'm just gonna do it by hand. Just cut it with a razor, and I'm gonna cover this wheel well real quick, and then bring it back. Well, that's what you're going for right there. It doesn't need to be perfect. You're just trying to get complete coverage. And it's mostly in the passenger area where most of the sound is going to be, and that you want to get rid of. It's going to get rid of that drone from like road noise and vibrations. I can tell this stuff's been sitting in the attic for a while. It definitely lost some of its stickiness, but hopefully it's fine. And here's the other side covered as well. Welcome back, guys. It has been the weekend because I could not work on this thing over the weekend. So I finished insulating both the sound insulating, both the wheel wells, and now I've got it all put back together. This is it with the interior panels all cleaned up and shined up. I still got a little bit of cleaning up to do here. I was going to do this top panel and the seatbelt things. I already did it on this side. See if I can get the light to adjust. Let me walk around so you can see better. All shined up. This thing looks like brand new on the inside, especially with those wheel wells. I'm gonna do the floor with that roof matting for the sound insulation and put the carpet on, and then we can see how that looks, and then I'll cut down the sound in here big time. Right here you can see on this rear panel, I tried doing the torch thing, but it kind of started to warp it because it's way too thin. So I abandoned that, and I just use that plastic restoration stuff I use. It works really good, and you have to buff it pretty good to get it to really clean up. But that's what I did, and then wiped some armor all, and it actually looks pretty good. Not as good as these shiny bad boys here, but it is decent, and I mean, huge, massive difference already on the inside of this thing from what it used to be. Dude, guys, I am stoked. This is the used carpet I got when I grabbed those other pieces from that guy. It's in decent enough shape. Just gonna vacuum it and it should be fine. But the biggest score, I don't need to sound insulate the floor because this dude had covered the bottom of this carpet with sound insulation. So it's already been insulated. That is freaking awesome, man. All right, we're gonna get started on cleaning up the seats and fixing them, starting with this back bench seat. You can see it's in pretty rough shape, looks pretty nasty. Throw some silicone lubricant in the joints so that it articulates a little better. Then get the bottom side of this all cleaned up, and then we'll get that shoved back in the car. Well, there it is. The back seat's all cleaned up. Plastics look good and the vinyl, but overall, it's to make too much of a difference. It really needs to be shampooed, but I don't have a shampooer, so that's going to have to wait. So there it is. And here's a quick shot with the seat back in. It is really starting to come together and look good. All right, before I get this driver's seat cleaned up, it needs to be fixed. Not an expert, but I'm pretty sure the seat is not supposed to do that. It's definitely got a sheared bolt or a missing bolt or something down here. I don't know. I'm going to take it apart and take a look. I'm going to pull up the flap here. There's just this plastic ribbon clip right here underneath that attaches to the other side. You just need to pop that off. Okay, well, got a really screwed up bolt there. That thing's shot. And that was screwed in right here, and that's what's causing it to be loose. So you can see the hole in there. Hopefully the threads aren't too screwed up. Well, it used to be a welded on nut inside of there. I just pulled that out from inside the foam. I just kind of pushed my way in there and pulled it out. It's all screwed up. I found this bolt in my pile of bolts that's roughly the same diameter. Doesn't screw into that, but I do have a nylon lock nut for it, which is probably going to be better. So I'm just going to use that, a washer, and I'll cut this down a little shorter so it's more closer to the size of that bolt and it'll fit in there better. And then I'm just going to bolt it back together. All right, so I took the bottom of the seat apart. I just pulled the tracks off. It's like 4 bolts that go to the main frame on here. And then just disconnected. This is the pull for the back seat. It's broken anyways. I'm probably just going to pull it out because it's missing a whole section. And the one on the other side works, so I don't think you really need it. I'm just going to clean this up real quick, degrease it a little, and then I'm going to re-lube it with some silicone lubricant. And then on the ends here that are all screwed up, I'm just going to do a quick wire wheel on it and just clean it up just a little. And then I'm just going to hit it with a blast or two of some satin spray paint and call it a day. Nothing fancy. If you guys are wondering why I'm always on the ground working on things, sitting there like a small toddler child playing with their toys in the play area, it's because mentally I never progressed past that point. Just in case you guys are wondering what a real ID gaff paint job looks like, literally just wiped it down real quick, used the wire wheel to get rid of all the loose rust, and then just slapped a quick coat on it. I don't care. It's better. It's protecting the rust now. Well, a whole lot of cussing and frustration later. Got the driver's seat back in. It's all done, put back together. You can see where I painted the rust spots where you can see it. Everything works good. Slides really well now. It's all lubed up. Cleaned up the sides of the seat. It's about all I can do. Definitely need seat covers. That thing is trashed. Might try to find some foam to glue in there to kind of patch it up too. Found some decent looking seat covers that make it seem like they're made to fit these things perfectly on eBay for like, I don't know, 150 bucks or whatever. See if I can justify spending that to the people that are important. Yeah, looks pretty good. I'm just gonna rinse and repeat with the passenger side. I don't need to show you guys that. Through the magic of video editing, there it is, the other seat in. Everything's done almost on the interior. Don't have the door cards in yet. We're going to have to replace the window regulator in this door. I'm going to show you guys how to do that. The other one's a little stiff, but probably just oil it, I guess. And then I'll show you guys how to do that. And then after that, we're going to put some of that matting in for sound deadening inside the doors. And I will walk you through how I do that. All right, to take out the window mechanisms, you're gonna have to take off your window roller. There's normally like a C-clamp, like a little C-clip in here holding these on, but if you have a janky Chevy tracker like I do, you don't have that and it just pops right off because this is old and beat up and barely hanging on. You're gonna have to take off the screw there and pull out the door handle, the one I just put in recently. You're gonna have to, for the armrest, pull the 2 screws out of there, pop off your door panel, and it's a bunch of little like plastic pieces that hold in, they just pop out. And then the mechanism's held on by these 2 screws, these 3 screws, and those 2 screws down there. And then let me put this back on so I can twist it. You gotta roll this to where you can get to that, and then you gotta undo those screws, and you can just pull everything out. Of course. let those soak for a minute. Oh, come on. Well, it ended up being a pretty big failure. I let these soak in PB Blaster for a while, could not get any of them to budge. Started to strip one out, trying to get it. So I decided to halt on taking this one off the lube it, and I just lubed it in place, got some silicone all worked up in there, rolled it up and down a bunch of times in the track here, and then the back side of this track right here all the way up, I sprayed it in there and just kept working it. It works really good now, so that side's good. Found this delicious snack inside the door frame. Yummy! Okay, for the sound insulating, we're just gonna go in through these. I'll wipe this down and get some of the dirt off of it so it'll stick better, but we're gonna just put that butyl rubber matting in the interior of the doors. You want them against this outer panel. We're gonna just cover all that. And then I also have butyl tape or butyl rope, whatever form you have, and then put it in the cracks in between any areas that look like it'll rattle. And that's gonna make a huge difference. All right, I lost the audio for this clip. Don't know how, so I'm just going to speed run y'all through it. Here's me explaining the butyl rope or butyl tape, whichever one you want to use, and how you just squish it into the gaps, and it's a great sound deadener. And then you can use these vinyl squeegee cards for applying like vinyl wrap inside the door to push that on. It works pretty good. Other than that, there's not a whole lot here to explain. I'm not going to show all of it, just maybe like the first 2 rows, and then just know there's more. You probably want at least 70% coverage of the entire door panel in order to get good sound attenuation. Okay, some really scratched up arms and hands later. There's all of the butyl mat. And then this is what I was talking about. You can see one of the examples here with the butyl rope, butyl tape, where you stuff it in the cracks where it might rattle. Makes a huge difference. All right, try to give you guys an idea of the sound difference. Here's the before, and then here's what it sounds like all put together after. Huge difference in sound. All right, well, I lubed all these screws up with PB Blaster already, and I took off the door handle and the door pull just to get them out of the way. They didn't need to be removed, but you know, just something less in the way. Let's see if these screws are loose enough to take out. If not, I might need some more persuasion. Let's try the heat wrench and see what that does. Let that go for a second and see if that helps at all. Probably not. I don't know what I'm going to do here if I can't get this out. Ah, come on, you bitch. Ah, come on, no, don't do that. Oh, it worked. Come on, bad boy, yes. Who's your daddy? Who's your daddy? Oh, that's why it wasn't working. Look at that. It came right off the track there and bent this thing. Oh, good thing I got a new one. Okay. Well, here's the new one. Made in Taiwan. Alrighty. Let's see if it works. Dun 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 dun. That's super annoying. I mean, it works pretty good for the most part. Fix that. It needs to be oiled, but that's good. Seems to work fine. Good enough for government work. That's what I do best. So here's the interior door cards. They have definitely seen better days. This one's really rough. Pretty messed up. The boarding on the back is like, or that park board is shot. I have more board that I can use from another project for it that I probably will just trace these onto. But I think I'm just going to clean them and throw them in for now, because I think once I do that, I'll probably want to put new material on it, because this is pretty bad and I don't think it's going to clean up very well. Anyways, I'm going to give it a scrub. Damn. Honestly, not bad. Came out pretty clean. There we go. Just a little brightness. How's this? I'll get a staple gun and try to reattach some of that. That one's pretty bad. Honestly, these came out so clean. If there weren't those rips there, I'd just reuse this material on a new board. I'm basically just gonna go back around, pull these down tight, and throw some more staples in it and see how it comes out. Alright, well, those staples I had were way too long, and after looking around a while, I could not find any. So new plan, old trusty Harbor Freight super glue and clamping. Clamp and glue. If you don't have a bunch of these sitting around your garage, you should. They're very useful. Alright, got the driver's door panel ready to put back on. Super easy. These little door clips, you just slide them in the big hole and then push them over into the little hole. They lock in between the boards. I have really high hopes that this thing's staying on very well, because this board, as you can see, is in really bad shape. Okay, so I just popped on the bottom ones just to hold it in place. And then I can fish up the rod for the door handle and put that on. And I can connect that, and then I can put it on the rest of the way with the door handle connected to that. That's the way you got to do it. Well, there's the door panel back on, and I'm not going to put the original roller on because somewhere over here in the pile of crap I was given, is some billet window rollers. Let's try putting those on and see what happens. Well, there it is. Driver's side door panel done and installed. Got the sound insulation on the inside. Got the not so universal door handle, the billet one. Ended up having to drill out the inside of it, but it's on there. It works. Yay, we're rolling down the window. Yay, rolling up the window. Well, there it is, guys. This came out amazing. It's all put back together, all cleaned up. Everything done for now, minus steam cleaning the seats, but I could not be happier with how this came out. It looks so good with very minimal cost. 45 bucks, 15 for an extra can of bed liner, and 30 bucks for those extra parts I got from that guy. But man, does this look incredible. Cannot wait to start driving it. Well, that's going to do it for this one. We got a long way to go, but we made it better than when we started, and that's what counts. Might not be for everybody, but I'm pretty happy with it. It's going to be a lot more comfortable to drive now, And it just goes to show you that you don't need a lot of money, just time and elbow grease. And remember, life is what you make it, so you better make it good. Stay rad.